Kerry Tumleson, I presume. Good.
Hey, Robert.
Gary,
I got a new microphone. Hopefully it's better than the last time.
it sounds great. Sounds very much better in here. Yeah.
Good, good.
Okay.
I'm gonna go down and talk to my son till the meeting starts in.
Okay.
Be back in about 15.
All right.
From those things.
So everybody watch your language now.
Okay.
And Robert, someplace on the agenda, we need to add pictures.
Yes. I was thinking that.
Because I've got a number of pictures folks sent us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I only got 3 or 4 hours of M81, M82. I gotta get them processed.
All cleared up? Not yet.
Hi, Craig. Hi, Rusty. Hi, Steve.
How's it going, guys?
Still breathing.
Oh, Craig, did you are you the Craig that posted the picture of the Whirlpool Nebula on the website?
Yes, I did.
That is beautiful.
Well, thank
It would put my Whirlpool Nebula to shame as far as the galaxy, as far as what I did with it. So
Thank you very much.
well, and see, if I remember correctly, you use what imaging software imaging software.
We might be able to do something about the volume. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Well, what I have is a ZWO setup with ASI Plus,
It's a little loud.
How's that?
ASI Air 2600 MC and
We're
M.
going the right direction.
Okay.
That picture is done with a monochrome
How's that?
That's much better.
HAS2, and it's a standard ZWO filters.
Much
They're
better.
not.
Okay.
Where are you, Joe?
I use the ASI Air too, and so far I've been real happy with it.
Yes,
Telescopes?
I think that springboarded me into.
More reasonable facsimile.
Yeah, I think it's just an image that he's projecting.
Eliminates all the confusion
Yes,
on
there is.
finding what you're looking for. And if it's not centered, you can always adjust it manually. It's really nice.
That too.
It is nice, and I need a setup like that.
Yes, I have not done mosaics yet, but I'm
There you go.
definitely going to do that this year.
Right.
I gotta get some expertise in other imaging processing software because yeah, I just used GIMP, the free one from the internet,
Yes.
and I haven't been happy with that. It could be me,
You usually have been lately. Yes.
or maybe the software itself. I've been looking into getting like Photoshop or
Well, if Ambrose would
Pinterest or something like that.
unlock the doors as I.
Well, I use GIMP.
Something
I had
nice.
Oh,
first.
yeah.
It's not bad. Not bad at all.
No, I need to use it. I need to take more patience with it and get to use it better.
Last time I heard about you, you were like,
Outstanding.
Oh, yeah, how you feeling?
Yeah, but actually, I'm getting better. Then, you know, third time's a charm.
So it's good to see you.
Yeah. Only the third time I decided I'm not going back to the hospital. Those people are idiots.
No way.
Yeah.
You think they're in the business just to make money?
You want me to answer that truthfully or do you want me to fit?
Oh,
Good, absolutely.
Take your time.
Yeah. Yeah, first time, 6 days it was in. Got home 2 days later, my legs started swelling up like balloons again. Like, I thought you guys got rid of the cellulitis. Was home for almost a week. I'm back in. And was there for 5 days. Everything back to normal. Redness is going away. Swelling in my legs is gone. Home for 2 days. Yeah, started up again. So I contacted my 2 doctors, my general doctor and my kidney specialist. And I said, all right, you guys, we gotta put our heads together. We gotta figure this out because the idiots at the hospital can't do it. What's going on and what do we do to quit, make it quit? They figured it out. Good. Not gonna do the third trip. Not gonna do that. Hospital food is some of the worst stuff in the world. Especially when they decide to put you on the cardiac floor, you don't have a cardiac problem. That stuff is so tasteless. The only thing that had any taste was the 2% milk. Everything else was like, yeah. I asked him, I says, can I get some salt and pepper? Oh, that's not allowed on this floor. So then my wife, she's sitting there because she just stopped by on her way home from work. And she had her big bag with her. She didn't want to leave it out in the car for special reason. And when the guy left the room, she reached in her bag and gave me a salt and pepper. Thank you.
Oh, God, don't ever tell anybody in the hospital their food is tasteless. They'll assume you have COVID and put you in isolation for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What if we tell them it tastes great? Then what do you?
They'll send you to the psychiatric.
Psychiatric. Yeah, I believe that.
I'm not a psychiatric ward.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's his brother, yeah. These are the jokes, folks.
Here all week.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are here all week, and once one of the classes will come in and actually have to move the tables around.
Yeah. That's listening to the
We don't-
spring forecast.
For gas,
It's not good.
how not?
They're saying right now, this week, we're gonna have a kind of a mild. And he said, but right after the first of the month, we're gonna have extremely high precipitation and much colder temperatures for the month of March.
Just in time for spring break.
Well, we've missed a lot of the crappy, real crappy weather. It's all gone, kind of northwest of us.
Yeah.
There's another big storm coming in Wednesday, which is, they say rain and freezing rain, although the temperature is gonna be.
Yeah, they're saying that one right now is supposed to stay towards our north, so if we get anything, it's gonna be rain.
Minnesota's gonna get hammered,
Yep.
so we're gonna miss that one too. The jet stream, actually, the middle of the jet stream is right over top of us. And the low pressure system is on the north side of that, off to our west.
Yep.
And it'll kind of travel up. Now, if the jet stream would drop 100 miles, we could be in trouble.
Yeah.
But as it stands right now, usually in the wintertime, the northern jet drops down 2 or 3, probably like 3 times. That's when we get those really cold blasts of air,
Mhm.
and that's when you can have freezing temperatures in Texas and Florida. And then it'll go back up, and now it's gone back up, and it's over us. And if we're lucky, stay there or go north, but it could drop down again, and they say first, it might drop down again.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping it's wrong, but even they're saying even the Farmer's Almanac has the same exact prediction.
Well, that's probably what the Weather Bureau is reading.
I don't believe Farmer's Almanac. Farmer's Almanac, they say it's got a proven since 17 something, it's had a 80% accuracy.
Well, the Farmer's Almanac, when it first got started, it predicted like snow in New York in the middle of July, and everybody laughed at it. Middle of July, they got snow. Ever since then, that's, they've been getting that reputation.
Yeah.
However, last time I heard, the average temperature, or the average salary for a TV weatherman is $70,000.
Yeah.
And I'd love to have a job where I make $70,000 and be wrong 80% of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, look, we dragged the cat in. Good morning. Good morning.
What's happening?
Good morning. How you doing, Rusty?
Oh, I'm doing much better.
Good.
Still not, complete, but I'm getting better. Yeah.
He probably likes it at the hospital.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Gets him out of the house.
Oh, yeah,
Lay
no.
around all day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We come in and flip the lights on at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. We gotta take more blood.
Check your vitals.
Then they're going, you were sleeping really nice. I'm going, yeah, shut the damn light off and let me go back to sleep.
Well, with all the doctors I have to go to draw blood, I've been thinking you're getting like a spigot put in. They can
Yeah.
just come by.
Yeah. Just flip the valve and
Yeah.
draw what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they all want different stuff. They won't take one blood test that covers everything everybody has to have. Yeah, somebody's gotta go after PS.
I got the one
Somebody has to
that,
go after. Somebody else has to go after something. It's like, take one blood sample.
Yep.
And do everything. Get it over with.
Yep.
No, can't do
Yeah,
that.
instead of coming in 10 times a day.
Yeah.
And every time they stab me, I get this bruise about that big around my arm.
Yep.
And I had these, both arms were just. First they had an IV in each arm.
Yeah.
were they stabbing you with insulin?
No.
They didn't do that.
Well. That was another massive sore subject. I got the insulin pump. So. They come in, they said. We want you to disable your insulin pump. We're gonna put you on an IV insulin drip. Because, your blood, your insulin's not very well controlled. And then it wasn't 5 minutes later, the doctor come in and goes, oh, your A1C is perfect. It's a 5.4. And then the nurse said that, says, well, maybe you are under good control. Yeah.
Well, when several years ago. Went to my dentist. And he said, you have a molar that's gotta come out
Jeff, he's on there.
now.
Yeah.
And this was a newer dentist because the dentist I had sold the business. The old dentist would have said, come in Friday, I'll pull it. This guy said, we're gonna set you up with the oral surgeon. So I go to the oral surgeon, they come in and they take your blood pressure and your temperature, the nurse leaves. Doctor, the surgeon comes in, takes the blood pressure again and says, we can't pull your tooth today because your blood pressure is 199 over 130. And you have to go see a doctor.
Yeah.
So I went to see a doctor and he prescribed medication. And he says, I want you to lose 20 pounds, which I did. And I tell people, if you ever want to lose weight, go to the dentist.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he gives me the medication. The medication does not work out, right? So he said, well, I want you to take 2 of those pills. It's like, it's a guess. Everything they do is a guess.
Yep.
And that's why they call a doctor's office a practice.
Because it's all practice.
Because they're always guessing, trying to figure out. You know, we're gonna do this, oh, that didn't work, so now we're gonna do this, and then he
Yeah.
prescribes another couple of pills for me to take. But it's like, it's all guess, they don't know.
They want me to disable my,
Yeah,
so I said, well, I can't disable it, but I can suspend it. But it's gonna alarm every 20 minutes, like, you know, hey, you're suspended. Okay, so they want to do this for 12 hours. Well, the nurse comes in, she didn't like the thing on. She goes, can you just take the battery out? I'm going, so it's an internal battery, there's nothing removed. She said, the only way you get the battery out is use a saw and cut it in half.
yeah,
I said, can't do that.
yeah.
And she goes, well, I'm gonna Google it. I'm going, oh, no, God. Not Google it. She comes in and she goes, well, I Googled it and Google told me how I could turn it off. I'm going, it's a bad idea. We do not need to do that.
Yeah.
I said, I do not want you to do that. She goes, well, we need to turn it off. No, don't turn it off. I said, what's gonna happen if you do turn it off? You know what, any issues gonna cause? No, we just need it off.
Yeah.
So she turned it off. 12 hours later, they come in, stop the IV drip and said, turn the pump back on. Took me 2 hours to get it back up, get it wiped the filter stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any of that information with me.
Yeah.
Well, I had 2 hours without insulin,
Yeah.
which made my blood sugar go through the roof. And those nurses knew I was not bad. Even the doctor never came and talked to her. She knew I was bad.
Yeah. But they know what's best for you.
Oh, I know. I did their survey. The full page, you will never do this to me again,
Yeah.
in that survey.
Well, don't trash that.
Probably,
That'll never,
it wasn't good, so
that'll never show up in anybody's file.
Well,
you're on.
yes, the doctor knows what he's talking about, let's start this meeting. All right,
People are.
well, I'm pleased with the turnout. That's 6 people in person. 9 people online.
Well. You got 8 people online, I guess.
I'm not counting that one. I'm not
Counted
counting
twice.
That's 5, 4, yeah, that's not, wow.
Yes.
I only have 5 in person. Who am I missing? I've got Robert, Steve, Rusty, Sam, and Cecil.
Could be.
Rolando, do you get Rolando?
Okay.
I think I'm a member still, I think.
It's hard to tell on my little screen who Rolando was.
Can't get everyone in.
Does that work?
Oh, that's much better, but turn down the glare.
That's your head, not mine.
Oh, that could be. Maybe we're causing a black hole here between the two of us bouncing back and forth.
Or a kilonova. All right. So call this meeting to semi-order. All right, so we had a public event scheduled for this past Saturday. Weather did not cooperate, big surprise,
Did you ever get an email back from them?
from Fox River. I finally got one this morning. He said he'd been out of town and
Oh,
hoped that it had gone well.
well, I know that Loudon got it, but like 8 or 9 inches of snow, and if they got that much, I bet they did too at the.
And it wouldn't surprise me, yeah.
That's not right.
Yeah,
So,
and then after Saturday, I mean, who knows if how much of the snow is still there and how much of the meltwater is soaked the ground, so.
yeah.
Yeah, either way. wasn't- All right, so. Our next public event is well, not a public event, but the Messier Marathon is March 18th. So
That'll be cloudy.
Saturday through into Sunday, yes. Well, until we have any idea what the weather's like, is anyone planning to go out for it? Cecil,
Depends on the weather. Obviously,
obviously, yes.
yeah.
I plan to go out for it as well.
Very good.
Oh, no, no. Have to call it.
And then, well, if that doesn't work, we got a public night scheduled for March 25th. Then on April 15th, is it April 15th? That's the Our Lady of the Prairie Retreat group. They contacted us some time ago, asked for a private session for one of their outings.
What day of the week is that?
I'm pretty sure that's a Saturday because exactly 2 weeks from that is our next is our astronomy day.
Oh, what are we doing for astronomy
Yeah.
day?
15th is a Saturday.
Well, first of all, does anyone have any additional information about the Our Lady retreat?
We're retreating.
Have they contacted us again since then? I haven't gotten anything. Well, then, to answer your question about astronomy day, I believe right now the plan is still to do daytime at Bettendorf High School. And then continue with the Mink Observatory that evening.
Yeah, everybody seemed to think it was okay that we were set up on the boulevard. We had parking, we had good drive by, and I think we had quite a few people last year. So, and since they've got their planetarium, that is kind of a nice bonus. None of the other schools have anything like that.
Well, I will point out that we don't know, the Augie Planetarium is open this Wednesday, starting at 5 o'clock. They're having their own program. So if anybody's available.
You know what the program is?
I forgot.
Let's see. Eventually. Come on.
They normally have a Christmas show. I don't know if they did this year.
And
That's not all. Yeah. Oh, sure.
Let's see.
Yeah, when I was in college, I actually got the Humphrey Gill Spitz.
Yeah, it's not.
And I actually
Takes a while to find it.
New one's all digital and it's not the same. No problem.
So we can come back to that later. I think all right, so moving on.
There's this piece of meat there.
Anybody bought any new gear lately?
I bought another AstroScan. So now I've got 3. One of them I gave to my daughter, one of them is for me, and one of them I might get out to a library or use as a loaner. And I was hoping I could find a club member that was heading toward Des Moines because there's another one I want to buy up there. They only want $125 for it. So I just can't drive all the way up and all the way back to pick it up. So I was hoping to find somebody that was already heading that way. But I think they're great beginner scopes. They don't have a cheesy tripod, and like the little Star Blast Dobbs that we've been getting, those Dobb bases are really kind of horrible. and they're really not built very well, and the finder scopes are horrid. So this AstroScan really blows those away. So, and they're, you know, usually less price too. So I'm turning into an AstroScan collector. I have dubbed them telebongs. Okay, Byron, you can smile. You like the telebong name, I could tell.
Gary B is a butthead in my head now.
Trying to ruin it.
Cecil, you had your hand up.
Yeah, a couple of things. One of them is this,
The hat?
the hat.
Gonna rob someplace.
Yeah, just don't walk in a quick start like that.
Hey, it's my mask. But if it's ever cold out, I mean, I've been out just walking the dog and stuff.
Yeah.
The second thing, I did buy a 20mm Astrotech 100-degree eyepiece. I haven't gotten it yet. Supposed to get it tomorrow, I think. So I don't know how to use it. I've got a nice 20mm now, basically a Vixen, lanthanide, but it's 70 degrees. So I got
100 degrees, you said?
70,
No, I mean the
New
new
one.
one.
100. Oh, $275. I thought that was, and it's gotten good reports. And, so I thought I'd especially get to, you know, use the job that would give me a little more magnification and a wider field.
Is it a 2-inch?
Huh?
2-inch?
Yeah. So, well, I don't know when I get a chance to use it. I mean, that, the other one's in Orion. It's a Vixen. So if nothing else, I can sell that. But I mean, it's a good eyepiece. Really, really sharp. But I thought I'd give that a shot. I don't have anything longer. I wish we did. A couple of months ago, I picked up a Teleview 101 refractor. Used 4-inch refractor. What is your paper that? A few years ago, I had a friend of mine had put it on eBay, and the average price was 17, 18, 27. For 101? I think it was, yeah, it was, I think it was, but anyway, you know, that's. Maybe 27, yeah, so, I don't know if you. Yeah. I've only been out with it once, and that was, the scene wasn't very steady, so I can't really make any judgment on whether it's a good one or a bad one. Yeah. Is that a double? It's a Petzl refractor, so it's a doublet, line, I think, front group, and then the Petzl doublet rear group. It's supposed to get a really flat field. Yeah. Good field. Yeah.
Oh, good. Anyone else bought new gear lately? Anyone who's selling gear?
You saw my email, I am.
Rolando?
I sent an email out to the club, got a, Astrotech, 80mm triplet. Yeah, we have 6.
Sure, I mean, it's probably.
Anyone else?
Somebody. Yeah.
Okay. Nothing else in those categories. So we have a presentation tonight. Jim Rutenbeck, you were recently at a star party in the Florida Keys, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that's true. John Baker, Paul Sager, Bill Myers, and myself, as well as about 300 other amateur astronomers were there. I just got home yesterday. John proceeded from that star party to another star party, so he's with us, and he's camping out near the Tampa area at the next star party. So he's going to have about 2 weeks in a row of camping and observing. So, and with that as an introduction, I'll see what John wants to add. We don't have this very well choreographed. We just volunteered to give you a little bit of information on how that star party went. You know, John drove down from the Quad Cities and made it down there. We had a good time. Mostly clear skies. You know, you always have some challenges with wind. We had some road construction going on that shined some lights at some of the people. So this was the first star party they've had in 2 years. So the last 2 years they canceled it because of COVID. I don't remember if this was their 39th annual star party. I know that Jeff has been there before, so he knows a little bit about what the terrain is like and what you get from the star party, because it was you know, a lapse of a couple years. There weren't as many vendors there. Al Nagler tends to be there, as well as some other well-known vendors. So they were pretty light on vendors. They did have some good programs, different presentations, and I don't know. With that, I'll let John add, you know, whatever he's thinking, and I think he may even have a few photographs. So hopefully John's online here.
I don't see him.
See ya.
Oh, okay. Well, so John's at you know, another rural area, and he probably the only internet access he would have. Okay, it looks like he's connecting now. That's good. Would be with his cell phone, using it as a hotspot. So it could be a little shaky whether we even get John on here, but okay, looks like maybe John has joined us. So John, if you're hearing this, just letting you know, I gave some introduction of who was at the star party, when it was, that you have arrived at the next star party in Central Florida near Tampa, and I'm going to be joining you in a couple days. So, okay, John. So John's kind of in the dark in the tent, and so I don't know.
I'm actually controlling my telescope from inside my tent here. Got it guiding. And
okay.
Using that USB link.
So why don't you let us know about how your trip down to Florida and then in the Keys, and what your impressions were at the star party, and any other information you want to share with other members of the club.
Yeah, it was a pretty quick drive. I left Friday afternoon. I got down there Saturday night, I think. That one it was. Then
right. Yeah.
Jim and Bill and I stayed at a hotel in Marathon the night before, because we wanted to get down there in line right at 8 o'clock, which we did, and got in there and got right where we wanted to go without any problems. Found out later that it probably would have been better to go on the other side, because there's been so much damage from the last time from the hurricane. But either way, we had a really good view of the south and got a lot of really good pictures, I think. But yeah, I had a good time. I took some pictures. If I could share the screen, I can show you a little bit of what it was like down there. Oh, there it goes.
Looks like you're gonna need some room on your hard drive for the second star party.
Yeah, I saw that. I have a jump drive somewhere around here, 2 terabyte one. This is my tent set up in my telescope and my hammock. I also had a big 10-foot tent set up with the table underneath it that we all sort of met at for our meeting places.
Beachfront property.
Okay, how do I go to the next one here?
In the center of the screen to the right, if you scroll over there, isn't there an arrow that'll highlight on it in the center of the picture? No, I'll move all the way. Yeah, keep going. Right there.
Oh, okay. That was somebody had a solar panel set up there. I think I was just walking down the beach there to one of the meetings on the Boy Scout side, and I was taking pictures along the way at some of the scopes. One of the buildings that was condemned, not supposed to go near that one because of the hurricane damage.
Yeah, that used to be the caretaker's home for the Girl Scout camp, but I think the last hurricane did enough damage that they no longer have anybody living in that house.
There's where we registered when we first came in. Welcome to the Winter Star Party. And then behind that, they were selling t-shirts and sweatshirts and stuff, memorabilia. Then beyond that was a Cuban food truck that fed everybody for all 3 meals a day. Food was pretty good. A lot of black beans and rice. Just looking out over the ocean from the Boy Scout side there, I think. More tents. More tents. Just try to give you an idea how many people were there. I, walk about 40, 50 feet and snap some more pictures. Not sure what those were. Jim, do you know?
Yeah, at one time I think they referred to those as chickie huts, and they used to, the Girl Scouts could camp out there, and then they would use it at the Winter Star Party as kind of a place where the people putting on the park might work out of. But again, the last hurricane took its toll on those, so they no longer let those be used. So the Girl Scouts have continued to let the Miami Astronomy Society put this star party on, but they haven't spent any money on rebuilding any of the buildings. There used to be electricity available. Now there's just a minimal amount of electricity to run the food vendor and the registration tent. So no electricity for any of the people that come to the event. So you can bring generators or batteries, and there are some places where you can do some charging of batteries. Then the other the layout is, this is a relatively small island. The only thing on that island is a Boy Scout camp on one end and a Girl Scout camp on the other. Traditionally, it was just the Girl Scout that allowed the star party to occur once the Girl Scout camp had so much loss of their improvements. The Boy Scouts have allowed the star party to also use their end of the island. So they have better facilities. They have electricity there. They have modern showers and restrooms. And so John may get over there for some photos and show you what that was like.
Just kind of a cool tree in the middle of nowhere.
It's true. I got this show there and find it. It was.
More scopes, more tents. Not sure what that was, but it looked kind of cool. And we should be getting to the Boy Scout tents pretty quick here. Out in the distance, you can see the dock or swimming. If people wanted to swim, they could go out there. Looks like low tide. And back in the distance there, I think is where the showers and where they had the meetings, the presentations. I'll get over there more in a couple of minutes here. There's the Boy Scout tents. I forget what they call them.
Yeah, they refer to those as glam tents. And I think some of the people that put the star parties on will stay in those. And then if attendees are interested, I think it maybe costs $300 for the week, and you share it with 7 other people. So, you know, kind of suit yourself whether that sounds like a good place or whether you'd just rather have your own tent, or in my case, I slept in my van. So, you know, those are some of the different options.
And I think there's about 7 or 8 of those, if I remember right.
I think that's right. Some people will also rent a hotel or condominium somewhere on one of the islands, and that requires you to, you know, leave the star party and then drive maybe 20 minutes or so to get to your accommodations. Then you've got a little nicer place to spend the night or the day.
They had a police car at the entrance day and night. You couldn't get in unless you had your little tag that said you belonged to this star party.
Yeah, they probably have as much security as any star party I've been to.
Yeah. Oh, Jim?
Yes.
You know how we had the problem with the construction lights?
Yep.
I was talking to somebody here who was down at that star party about 8 years ago, or I forget how long ago, but he said there were some fishing boats parked about 300 to 500 feet offshore with bright lights that wouldn't move. That made it impossible to shoot towards the south.
Oh, gee, yeah, it wouldn't be good either. The thing John had mentioned earlier, these are, I think that that blue colored building maybe is a Boy Scout residence, but the orange one is all showers and bathrooms on the second story, and then underneath we use that for presentation. So that's a pretty nice facility.
I'm walking in there to the first presentation, Future of Astrophotography. And I forget who he was, and he owned Vixen or something. No, I'm thinking of somebody else.
His last name is Wright. He used to work for many years. He worked for
Big Sky or what's
yeah, that is
the Sky software?
yeah, the people that
Software Bisque.
yes, you're right, Software Bisque. I think since then he's gone off on his own and more computer programming and consulting work, but yeah, I know he does a lot of astrophotography.
According to him, there won't be any need for guiding in the future. Just take short exposures.
Yeah, I think he's trying to predict, where's astrophotography going to go, and so the continuing trend of higher efficiency of the camera chips and lower noise that will enable you to be able to get pretty good results with 1 minute exposure. You still need to take a lot of hours of exposure to get really good results, but the CCDs, high read noise, which required or which made it more desirable to take 5-10 minute exposures. The CMOS cameras don't have as much of that concern. So 1 minute exposures, maybe 2 minute exposures, 3 minute exposures, especially if you're using narrow band filters. But and the other, I guess the other thing is the technology on computers. On telescopes, whereas many of them are getting faster optics. So nowadays you can buy an f2 telescope, an f3 telescope, so you can get a lot faster results from that standpoint too. So those were part of the message that he talked about, is just looking at what does he see for the future in astrophotography.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I could argue on that would be is you like the longer exposures and the faster scope so you can get dimmer objects. Think what you can do if you can get a 30-minute exposure with all that, better cameras and better optics.
Yeah, and all of these things I think have their advocates and their points of view. What he would say is you still need to take a total of 3 hours worth of exposure to really get a good shot. And that's kind of an average number. If it's really dim, maybe it needs to be a little longer. If it's a brighter object, maybe it doesn't need to be quite that long. But he's saying the need for each individual sub, there's not much of an advantage, at least in his opinion, for going much above 2 to 3 minutes for a sub. And then stack them. And he would be an advocate of using live stacking.
Yeah, that way you wouldn't have to store all of your subs.
Because if you take shorter exposures, you're going to have more subs. And I don't think that he would say the person that's trying to get the absolute best image, wants to win a contest, that live stacking is going to get you as good a result as the person that takes individual frames and stacks them. But for the average person that wants to get a nice, very respectable picture, I guess is where his prediction is where the art is headed.
Okay, moving on. More telescopes. There's the dock.
What typical size telescopes did you see?
Oh, all sorts. I think the largest one we saw was 32 inches in diameter.
Were there a lot of smaller refractors?
There were a lot of small refractors. Yes, as you go through these pictures and look around, you can see a lot of refractors with there's one there. Guess that's the last one. Let me scroll back.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I would reiterate what John said is the largest one that I saw was the 32-inch. We looked through that on a couple different occasions. I know Paul Sager, probably first time he's ever looked through such a large telescope. He was wowed by the view that provided. You know, then a lot of 20-inch Dobbs and then, you know, just progressively on down into the mid-Casagrans, Newtonians, 8-inch size scopes, and then for astrophotography too, a lot of people using anywhere from 6-inch, 5-inch, 3-inch scopes. And some solar scopes there, hydrogen alpha scopes.
Jim sent me 4 pictures. What are these here? Oh, the jellyfish nebula.
Is that a baby water snake?
That was Paul's scope. My scope. Oh, that was your scope, the first one, right, Jim?
Yes, it was.
Got that back, but there's Paul's scope.
So Paul brought 2 different telescopes, had them set up, but you know, it's a challenge keeping one scope working. And so, you know, he was struggling with trying to keep both of them running. And in addition to that, he also brought his 10-inch optical tube. John maybe used it a little bit, but you know, that you have a tendency to try to bring a lot of things and hard to find time to use them all.
And I think I had a couple pictures here. What am I doing here? I guess just one. I put my 15mm lens on my camera, pointed it up with hydrogen alpha filter. You can see the Orion Nebula, Horsehead Nebula there. What do you call that around the whole Orion complex?
Yeah, Bernard's Loop.
Bernard's Loop, yeah. I think the Rosetta is over here, plus some miscellaneous nebulosity out around it. You can see the Seagull Nebula there. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool picture. I don't know that I've ever seen I've maybe seen some commercial film photos of Bernard's Loop, but as far as capturing it that I knew of, that's pretty neat. And then that area just on the kind of on the head of Orion, that big nebulosity there. I mean, I've seen that on, you know, drawings or maybe even Stellarium shows it, but yeah, to pick that up is pretty cool.
This was just hydrogen alpha. I took all RGB images of it too. I haven't had time to do anything with them yet though. Close that. Edges didn't come out real good, but that's the Seagull Nebula. And that's about all I have, unless you want to watch me do some astrophotography.
Yeah, well, John, take some pictures at the next star party and give us some information on how that one differs from the one in the Keys and people. So
Yes, please.
anybody have any questions?
Which island in the Keys was the star party held on?
Well, that key is called Scout Key. And it is, as you go from Key Largo, which is the first key that you would come to, and then head towards Key West. It's less than an hour's drive from the Scout Key to Key West. It's past Marathon, past the 7 Mile Bridge for any of you that have maybe been down in that area. So it's a pretty small key.
Are you far enough south that you can see Omega Centauri or the Magellanic Cloud?
Not the Magellan Clouds. That you've got to get quite a bit further south, but you can easily see Omega Centauri. I took a picture of it and I thought it looked okay on my camera, but when I tried to, maybe show the group, I just couldn't get it, to look decent as a JPEG. So maybe at some point I'll have that. Centaurus A is a galaxy that, has a very pronounced dust lane through it. And the other thing is the Carina Nebula or Eta Carina is just degrees above the horizon. So, I mean, it's amazing that it looks as good as it does. It must be fairly bright. I can't imagine what it looked like overhead because you can easily see it or photograph it right on the horizon to the south. It's only up for about an hour because it's just scooting above the horizon. But, that's another southern object that we can see, as well as the Southern Cross.
This is it here. It's Camp Sawyer. Boy Scout camp area was over here. And we were set up over on this side.
That's Summerlin Key.
And if I zoom out,
Yeah, we're, about 90 miles away from Cuba. We're closer to Cuba than we were to Miami.
that's it. That's all I have.
Did you ever find the disc mount? Guy, I think his name is Tom Peters.
Let's see. Steve asked me that question a little again.
Did you run across the disc mount, alt-azimuth mount guy, Tom Peters?
No, I have not. I've not seen one in real life. I've heard of them, but there weren't any down there, for example.
I decided not to get one. They're expensive, a couple $1,000s, and that's way more than I decided that I wanted to spend on an Altazimuth mount.
Okay,
Just gonna stick with my Los Manny G11.
yeah.
I was just sitting here taking 30-second exposures, looping. I wasn't saving them. I was still setting up the scope when I started talking to you guys.
I think, John, you took a picture of the comet, didn't you?
I did.
I don't know if you have it handy, and I don't know, like, it was the first time I'd seen it was, last week, and not too impressive, but you can see it. I don't know what the rest of you's experience has been. I know that Alan has taken a few pictures of it. Maybe some of the rest of you have too.
No pictures, but I did manage to see it through my 6-inch dot just outside my condo, earlier this month.
Okay. That's a good accomplishment.
What are we gonna look at now?
I was going to see if I could find that picture of the comet, but
Is that the one you sent to me, John?
no, I took another one while I was down in the Keys.
The night that we arrived, the night before the started was the night of the Super Bowl. And so we started watching the Super Bowl. The three of us all went to bed, and Paul watched it. I don't know if he stayed up long enough for the whole thing, but he stayed up longer than we did.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Is that it? That might be it.
That could be it.
Looks like it.
Oh, I moved the sun. Oh, I screwed that up, didn't I? Yeah, apparently it was low when I was going through some wires there. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have. Not sure what that is. Something down there.
Yeah. They say that I can drill a 10-inch hole with my 30-inch and it wouldn't make a difference. It's been cleaned. And it probably needs to be cleaned again.
Like I lost connection to my guide camera. Oh
Has to be disassembled.
well.
Can't get in there and clean it.
Stop. Sure. Okay, back to you guys.
All right.
They should figure out a way to be able to lower the.
Thank you very much for the presentation.
Yep.
Sure.
Welcome.
All right.
I'll talk about my scope.
I understand that there's some other, I was told that some other people have some photos to share.
Shouldn't matter. Yeah, that's kind of a cracking deal.
I haven't been out.
So that's how.
Yeah, for us.
See, that's one for Alan.
That looks familiar.
Is Alan on the line yet? He can talk about this one if he wants to.
Yeah, this picture was taken, January 10th, I think. From my front yard. There was a lot of light pollution, so you can kind of see a little bit there. On the upper right corner, but that was about the best shot I've gotten of it. I've taken some other ones since, but they weren't as good. It's kind of disappointing, I think, but you can see the green color of it. It's pretty cool.
Brian Haysbrook sent this one in to me. I'm not sure what he's got for gear or when he took it. I think he's got another one here. Yeah. And Byron, you've got a few of them that you sent me. You can talk about these and let me know when you want to go to the next one.
Well, these are ones, again, I'm shooting in my backyard, playing around with that new filter, which is a phenomenal filter. Of course, this is the jellyfish, I think IC443. This was a stack, I think, of 50 frames or subs, however you want to call them. And of course, mixed with the light flats, dark flats, bias, and darks. AstroPixel processor I used on it for the most of it. And also used Graxpert, that free gradient remover. But yeah, this was it was a shock when I pulled it up after it processed. I was surprised that it came out that well. I mean, it's not professional grade, but it's still, I'm real pleased with it from being in the backyard in the city light.
Yeah, what's the name of the filter?
That's that Optilong Radiant Triad Ultra. It's a kidney stone of a ticket price on it, but I'll tell you what, you want to, it'll image in a full moon in city light.
Yeah,
Everything you're hearing or you read in the the reviews of it is absolutely true. It's definitely the Cadillac of the filters, at least I've ever held in my hands. I forgot to put it in one evening, and I shot a 10-second preview without that filter in it at 12,800 on that 6D Mark II, and I could barely make out stars. It was so bleached out. And I put that filter back in and shot it. And I mean, it was like a dark sky behind it. I mean, you saw the stars, you didn't see any light pollution. I mean, just the difference is incredible. And this I took again using that filter, but I used the Sky Max 180 Max Atop. That's your Eskimo Nebula clown face. What's it? NGC 2392, I think.
boy, that's really nice, bringing out some nice detail.
And again, that's AstroPixel and Graxpert. But yeah, that can be really tough to shoot, and I was real pleased with that.
And Now, is that a little bit longer focal length scope you're using on that one, Byron?
That's an f1.5. Yeah, f15. I pretty much use that for planetary and galaxies only.
Okay, so let's see, is that a Maxitop?
Yes, it's a Maxitop, 7-inch.
Okay.
And this is the monkey face, if you can make it out. I think that's NGC 2174.
Yeah, it says the top left NGC.
Oh, okay, I see that. Yeah, 2174. And yeah, that was surprisingly easy to shoot from the backyard too. And this, of course, is your cone, foxtail, Christmas tree cluster, and then a part of the surrounding glow of nebula is at SH2. I can't remember the last three on that, but it's like a huge nebula, and the cone sits in the middle of it.
This one's a Craig one. Craig, are you there yet?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That was shot about 3 days ago using my Celestron Edge HD with a 7 focal reducer. I'm trying to use more of the 2600. That's an using HA 03 S2 processed through Pics Insight Complete, what I call complete, which is beginning to end. There's some new sub programs that has come out, which is Blur Extreme, Star Extreme, which is a splitter, and Noise Reducer Extreme. And they've really made it so much easier. There are presets you can adjust to them, but they're presets. It took a little time for me to pull out the color, but I'm very happy with it. I know there's a lot of room for improvement, but
what is that?
That is what they call the cigar galaxy.
Okay.
Right. M80, 82.
82.
Yep. And at that night, I split the night up on that scope and I did 81. I'm still not finished processing that. But yeah, that one's just done just a couple days ago. I just sent it out to Jeff today. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. The filter was just an L Pro. Galaxies, that's all you need. Just I had something like 70% moon, but yeah, I'm very happy.
Brilliant photo of it.
Well, thank you.
Let's see that.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that was one of the objects that we looked at through the 32-inch at the Winter Star Party, and it had a similar appearance to that, but no color.
Yeah, great test.
Yeah.
Yes. I noticed I had a little blur or hair to the left side. That's why I cropped it down, but I was going to crop it anyhow to bring up the size, or it would have been much smaller. I'm going to have to go back in the system and see where it's at. Okay, this is the comet. It was a trial and error. Again, C8 Edge HD, and I have a Hyperstar, and I used the L Pro on it, but I used the 533 MC Pro for the first time on 30-second shots. guided on the stars, and I did 44 subs. I went through 3 separate how-tos, and it's the best I could get at the time because that was where the moon was growing, and it was about a 75% on the moon. But I'm happy with the hyperstar. It's awesome. I'm hoping for more time with it. I went out, I'd say about a week later when the skies cleared with my 26 MC Pro with the L Pro filter, and there was a preset in the camera that went to mono for some strange reason, and all those 2 nights worth I was hoping to be able to get a better shot of the comet, but it failed. I'll have to wait, what, 50,000 years for no, there's plenty of comets out there, so yes. I would say chances are if I go back into this and do a little bit more tweaking and stretching, I might be able to get some comet, because you can see a little off to the left and the upper, well, lower right, upper left. It's there. It just needs to be stretched out. But that's my hyperstar. I'm very happy with it. I'm hoping I can get some more time with it. Okay, at that night, I had 2 scopes out. As little time we've had with good clear skies, I try to set up with 2 as much as I can. And the other one was, this is M1, the crab. And again, I only used the L Pro. And it took a lot of stretching to get out some of the detail, though there could be a little bit more in the center. But this is where there's a new program out in Pics Insight. And what it does is, with your masking, you can go up and establish a grayscale and use that as a mask, or you can go in and give me a minute here, right here, and you can go into range selector, which is another program, and that you can adjust it manually until you're satisfied with the shape. But there's another one. There's another one out in script. It's called Game. It's called Game, and you can pick out multiple spots around an object and use that as a mask. I'm hoping they'll come out with one like Pics. You can paint the lines around instead of picking out little dots, hoping it will cover what you need. But that seems to be an improvement, that's for sure. And I use that on this one, and I use that one on the 51, which you should be seeing soon, where you can, once you use Star Exterminator, you can separate the stars from whatever object you use, nebulosity or galaxy, and you can stretch the nebulosity stronger without affecting the stars, and then combine them back in at a later time. That's what I did with this. You got another one? Oh, that's an old one. That's the one I did last year's Star Party, using the 8-inch that I sold. It's my Meade 8-inch. And what I did is, I've done this before. I regathered all the information that I've had, and I went back in with the new programs and re-stretched it, and I'm very happy with it. It shows signs of improvement, but is better than what I've done before. That was okay. That's when I did the M1, the crab. I shared the same scope with this one, doing the same thing. And again, with the new programs in Pics Insight, which is what they call, what's helping is called a plug-in program that you add on to it to help. This one, you keep stretching it until it improves in sizes and shape and color. Again, this is where once I had the background set up properly, I went through blur extreme and noise extreme, and then I went into what they call it's a long list of things where it's a color calibration. It's a new one, spectral photomic color calibration, where you have they have a satellite out there called Gaia, where they have taken the night sky and it helps you do the proper calibrations. So in other words, what it does is it helps you get the base colors, and then you stretch it from there. And I think that's where this one came from.
Craig,
Brings out blues.
that photo's just stunning. That's really cool.
Well, thank you. When I did the game program, I must have had a good 30 dots around there to make a mask with a little tail up in the upper left that really didn't end up showing. But yeah, I'm very happy with it.
What camera and
the whole system is a ZWO. I have 2 pluses now for the control module. Yeah, and I have ASI 2600M. This was an MM, which is a mono, using the ZWO of filters, which is HA02 and S03, S2. And yeah, it's I'm very happy with it. It takes a lot longer to do it and do your subs, but final process is a lot better than MC. Though the new filters coming out really bringing the one-shot color really close to competing with the mono. Ooh, this is a remake of the Andromeda Galaxy, again using the new programs. I just did a restretch. It's not the best, but what I liked about it is underneath the bands, you can get about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bands, and most of them was underneath the Galaxy, which I've had a hard time getting that. Though I've played with it since, I haven't sent out the program, the picture yet. But that was with the 533 MC with an L Pro backyard, pretty much all of them. Okay, this is the first time I set up my 8-inch HD with the Hyperstar using the 533 MC Pro. I did a real fast shot. I believe it's from like 18 subs of 30 seconds each. No subs. I just wanted to see how it turned out, and I plugged it out, and I loved it. I mean, I have that on my desktop screen right now. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. It would have been a lot better if the halos weren't, but in a program in Pics Insight, you can get rid of some of the halo, and I didn't like the end result, so I just left it as is. Ooh, it's another old timer. What they call the Casper, the friendly ghost. Again, I had almost a full moon. If you can see around, you can see the halos on the upper right. That there's no way. I mean, there's only so much you can get out on the programs, and when you process and when it first comes up, it's pretty much covered in white, even though you used a pollution filter. It's still, if I went to a mono, I probably would have got a lot better. But at that time, I was using my color camera. That's right above the burning bush. I wanted to do this. This was what they would call overcooked. I wanted to get a little more detail. So when I went out, I wanted to redo, there was that nebula, and I got a one night for it, and I had to get rid of about a third because it was high winds. But I just wanted to get more detail of the dark nebula inside. And the first time I got it where the center of the Rosette Nebula was black, I was impressed with that. I mean, you could stretch these to pretty much any color you want. I just wanted blue with red brown on the outside, and that one was done with the 26 using the HA03S2 process through Pics and Sight Complete. I call it Pics and Sight Complete because I didn't use anything else. Well, that's not mine.
So this is John, I can't think of his last name. John C. That's just another comet that was,
That's Mars right down below, I believe.
could be.
Yeah, because that was when I was failing. I had Mars on it.
And I guess that's all I got for Pics. Yeah, let me see if I can get rid of the screen.
Very nice. So someone new just joined us, Wendell Clifton.
Yes, I'm from the Cedar Amateur Astronomers.
Hey, Wendell.
How do you do?
I'm doing good. I just happened to notice that you guys were having a meeting tonight, so I thought I would drop in.
Glad you could.
I'm procrastinating heavily because I'm supposed to be working on the minutes from the Cedar Amateur Astronomers meeting back a couple of weeks ago, and it's due. So I'm procrastinating.
Better way to procrastinate doing work for a meeting than go to another meeting. There you go. Okay. All right. So I guess that concludes the presentation portion of our program. Now to get down to business. John, are you in a position to do the treasurer's report this month?
No,
Short and to the point.
Yeah, you had to pay for the trip somehow, right?
I think it's about $25 more than what it was last time, if you have that number.
We've got that number in the recording for last month's meeting, so which should be up on YouTube. You have a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
So moved.
You have a second? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, next item. Observatory expansion and relocation. Steve VanHyfte, are you still online?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I sent you some photos. John and I went up there. We made the repairs to the winch. And what I did is I shopped around and I went to all the hardware stores and I found out that Farm and Fleet had the the pre-made winch cables. So I bought an 1/8 inch, was the same size, and I bought a 3/16, and so we took them both up and we put the next size cable up in there. So the winch is repaired. The trouble is that when we tried to move the roof, then also the roof has been freed up on its side, on the side. So now the roof is no longer has any drag on it other than its weight. And so we tried to move it. Well, what we found when we moved it with the new cable is that you've got this heavy roof that doesn't want to move, and then the winch and the cable will move the roof, and then once it moves it, it kind of gives it a little bit of a tug, and when the roof moves, it moves a little bit further, and then the cable is loose now because it's no longer there's no longer a drag. And then once again, it tightens it up, and then it pulls it some more, and it pulls it further than the cable. Okay, so it'd be kind of like towing a car where the person is not dragging the brakes behind there. Okay, so you get this tugging motion in it, and that's transferred onto that to the wall there, and you get some motion on that wall that is very uncomfortable to see, because you're seeing the very top of that wall move back and forth during this process. So we only moved the roof open about 6 feet, and then we closed it back up. And so we thought that, if we get in trouble up there trying to move the roof all the way open, it's the wrong time of year. We don't have very many people to help us get it closed if we run into trouble, or if we, have some structural problem on the new building here, So we just closed it back up, and it's been sitting there, and we'll have somebody else take a look at it.
Will corner
But,
closets in all four corners brace that enough, you think?
You know what? It's already braced in two in the back corners there where I really think that maybe the solution here is, if we're gonna, until we have something a little bit more robust, it's kind of like what was on the other roof over at Sherman, is that where you get some 2x4s that are actually coming down from what is holding the I guess the winch is supported by like a large 6x6 or 8x8 up there now, and then and it's only held up by the wall itself. But on the Sherman roof, what they had some type of an angled down piece coming down to the floor ahead of it. Okay, so I think that's my only input. I'm not a mechanical engineer or structural engineer or anything, but it's just that you need more. The winch needs a little bit more solid of a foundation, of some type of a support. That's my 2 bits. The thing is that when I saw Jim move it, when he first put when we first did it the first couple times, we didn't have this problem. So I think it was the braking effect on the outside of the walls was actually a positive thing, because the roof was always under a brake and the cable was always taut. So when the roof was going, opening and closing, and again, the cable is always taut. Now it's free on both sides. You don't have that happening, and then now you get this jerking motion, and then it's that initial stiction that is really bending the wall, and it's back and forth and back and forth. And so it's the wrong time of year. Plus, it was cold. I think Mike was thinking that it was maybe the roof has settled a little bit. Maybe that's true, because it's all new construction, So
one thing you might be able to do, and I know them, the east and west walls, I know the contractor was, really concerned about that wall not having a lot of support in it. Maybe have to dig a footing right next to that wall on the outside and go down 48 inches with concrete and take a steel I-beam or something and stick that in right next to the wall and then tie that wall onto the I-beam. You know, that would really stiffen it up, because I know exactly what the contractor was concerned with, and he put a lot of braces in, but to move the weight ratio of the weight of the roof to the strength of that wall, maybe that's what we need to do, is throw a footing in right in the middle where that winch is hooked to. But then again, with Jim looking at down the road with a rack and pinion type open closure type of thing, you know, maybe that rack and pinion won't be in the middle. Maybe it'll be off to the side or something like that. But if you move it from the middle, like I said, a footing with a maybe a 4-inch I-beam or something like that stuck in the concrete right next to it, it's not going to go anywhere then. That's just something off the top of my head I was just thinking of.
Steve, I can forward the pictures to the rest of the club if you like.
You know, there's really not much to show there, but if you could present those, it's not a big deal. I mean, then the winch is repaired. It's just photos of the winch repair.
Well, I didn't save in the computer. They're still on my email. So
Okay.
well,
Actually, repairing that winch, if the cable is pre-made, repairing that winch is about a lazy 10 to 15 minute operation. The winch comes off the block. You put the winch on the floor. There's only 2 bolts that hold the winch into its frame. You take those 2 bolts out. The winch slides out of the frame. And then the winch has a spool. The spool comes off. And then we just had to make minor modifications to go from a 1/8 to a 3/16. And then you put it all back together again. And then I think there's 10 more feet of, so you go from 40 to 50 feet of cable. And that's it. So it was, I think I thought it would be much, much more involved, but it's not. And I didn't have to buy any tools or ferro rules or brackets or anything, or crimping tools or anything. Farm Fleet had all that stuff ready to go.
Yep.
give me a second here. All right, what I can do now is and then I gotta, if I can shrink that down a bit. Okay, well,
Okay, that's all you get, huh?
so that looks like the winch there.
Okay, you can't blow that up or anything, huh?
I can blow it up, but then it,
But there you go.
then let's see.
Can you scroll it? Yeah. Now
I'll
just
try. Okay, here we go.
All right. So there's the cable. There's the winch. There's the completed repair, and it now has a 3/8 or 3/16 inch cable. So we've gone up to the next size cable. All right, and that's it. And then if you just go to if you can go to some of the other photos.
Working on it. See, am I still sharing? Yes.
Yeah, Wendell, if you're there yet, what's going on is we just built a 20 by 30-foot roll-off building. And we're messing around with trying to motorize that roof.
Well, it looks pretty impressive from here. You know, since you're in Microsoft Paint there, if you just you can make that window a little bit larger.
Which one a little bit larger?
Your Microsoft Paint window. You can just since you're doing a screen share, you can make
Like that? Okay.
well, that's one way to do it. Yep.
I don't use it very often.
I don't think you can zoom in on that though.
No.
But I mean, you could expand the size of the window just a little bit by moving your cursor down to one of the edges and like to the bottom edge, and expanding that just a little bit, just dragging it down a little bit.
Trying.
The
Then you can
taskbar.
zoom in, and it'll get more of the image.
Where?
It's very, it's hard to explain this over.
Would it be the
Zoom.
taskbar at the bottom?
Well, no,
That
the
taskbar,
bottom-
that's for the computer. It's nothing to do with paint.
That one.
At the bottom of the Microsoft Paint window, just move your cursor down there, and then right or you left click and drag that down just a few more just a little bit further. I see the cursor's up at the top of the screen.
I'm working.
Yeah. Hey, Mike,
Yeah,
you know, like I mentioned before, if you put 2 rollers directly above that drum, so it goes over a roller both directions, that will work 1,000 times smoother than what it's doing. Right now, it's dragging on that front edge. That's what snapped that last cable.
Yeah.
No, it,
Cut it. Oh, I've run winches for years. That's getting a bind in that. I mean, that's easily seen. If you can't notice that, then you know you're missing something. But if you put 2 rollers directly above it, so the cable goes up over the roller and then out, it'll work so much smoother, and you probably wouldn't have as much bounce.
oh yeah, it does drag on that upper lip there, like you
Yes,
showed.
it does.
He's right. Yeah.
Yep, if you put 2 rollers above that, and that's not that hard to make. 2 rollers, so it actually goes up between the 2 rollers, and it goes over the one to go for opening, and then over the one in the back to close it. So it's always going over the top of a roller, and the spool's pulling the cable down instead of over the top of something that's raking.
Yeah, I think the way that Jim put that, the reason why it's that way is that the winch is not centered on the observatory.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Okay,
I've seen
and then
it,
the
yeah.
opening is on the other side, not on this side.
Yeah.
Okay. So I agree with you, but if you cut an opening all the way as wide as that spool is, you'd be taking out quite a bit of frame there. But
Well,
I agree with what you're saying.
I don't mean cut it open. Don't cut anything. I'm saying build 2 rollers and attach.
Right, but how are you going to support it though?
We
See,
can support them across the frame of the wall behind it. This, you know, you could easily build a framework to hold that. You're talking to a guy that does a lot of welding, so.
okay. Well, anyway,
That's just my suggestion.
yeah. So I don't know if it's we need to show any more pictures here. There's like 3 more pictures. Or at least I thought there was a couple more.
I only got these 3.
Okay.
All right. So yes.
And this has a factor of safety.
Forgot. Yeah. Okay.
I don't think we've seen that. Or negative.
Huh?
You need to oversee it.
All right, and we lost a couple of people.
Probably.
Okay. Anything else about the observatory that we should bring up? Is there any other business we should bring up tonight? Well, in that case, our next board meeting is scheduled for March 1st, our next general meeting on March 20th. Anything else?
I have a non-astronomy computer question, if somebody can answer it.
Well, here's good with computers.
Okay, I'm trying to install an internet Wi-Fi radio to my internet. And I get if I can remember this correctly, it ends up on a page that says DNS server invalid.
Yeah.
What can I do to correct that? Anybody know? If I can. Something I can do.
No, you need to find out what the DNS IP number is.
The screen before that says looking for gateway. And then it goes from that to DNS server invalid.
The domain name server is invalid because either it doesn't have any data or you're going to an address that doesn't exist.
Nothing I can do about it.
Unless you find an actual domain name server.
Okay.
Anything else?
I don't know.
And what's this?
After we adjourn, Mike and Robert and Jim, can you stay online for a bit?
For a bit.
Yeah,
Just for a few minutes.
All right, so then, does anyone want to make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So I'm gonna
Cecil moves, any second, Rolando and Sam both second. So. Is anybody interested in trying Village Inn tonight?
No,
No? Okay,
I don't even know if they're open anymore at this time.
Yeah, I think they stay open until 10 now.
Do they have any help? Well, do they have any help? The last time
that's
we
the
went there, they didn't have help, so.
Yeah. And I
It's just
can
take
enjoy
out
a
all
piece
the-
of pie.
As long as they've got pie there, who cares if they got help?
Yeah, I can enjoy a piece of pie.
You just can't sit.
if they're open,
I
yeah.
guess we're not gonna know unless we go.
Well, I'd have to stay on here for a few minutes with the
Yeah.
board, so.
Okay. I guess we're done.
I guess we're done.
All right.
We
All
are.
right. Good night, everyone.
Yep,
Good night.
Yeah, good night.
later.
Robert,
Yes.
you might wanna remind, John Baker. I don't think he's online anymore, but I don't think he's paid the PO box that was due.
He hasn't paid yet? I'll try to remember that.